Have you ever wondered how a ragtag fleet of English ships could humiliate the mightiest armada the world had ever seen, turning a tiny island into a global superpower? In 1588, the fate of nations hung in the balance, decided not just by cannons and courage, but by a storm that would change history forever. King Philip II of Spain, the most powerful ruler in Europe, unleashed his Invincible Armada. This wasn't just a fleet, it was a floating fortress of 130 massive galleons, carrying over 30,000 men. Their mission: to conquer England, crush its Protestant queen, and restore Catholic dominance. Why did Philip crave England's downfall so badly? He was fueled by religious zeal and a burning desire for revenge against English pirates, or privateers as the English called them, like the infamous Sir Francis Drake, who relentlessly plundered his treasure ships sailing from the New World. The Armada set sail from Lisbon, a breathtaking spectacle of power, destined to rendezvous with Spain's veteran army in the Netherlands and ferry them across the Channel for the invasion. But waiting for them were the English. They were outnumbered, their ships were smaller, and their cannons were lighter. On paper, it was a mismatch. But the English ships were also faster, more maneuverable, and crewed by some of the most experienced sailors in the world. And they had a secret weapon: audacity. Leading the English were Lord Howard of Effingham and the one man the Spanish feared most, Francis Drake. Legend has it that when news of the Armada's sighting reached him, Drake was calmly playing a game of bowls. He insisted on finishing his game, declaring there was plenty of time to win and to thrash the Spaniards too. Talk about nerves of steel. They wouldn't fight Spain's game of grappling and boarding. Instead, they would use their superior speed to dance around the lumbering Spanish galleons, harassing them with long-range cannon fire from a safe distance. As the crescent-shaped formation of the Armada sailed up the English Channel, the chase began. For a week, it was a deadly cat-and-mouse game. The English ships darted in like hornets, stinging the Spanish elephants, chipping away at their morale and supplies. Spanish discipline, forged in Mediterranean battles, began to crack under the relentless, unfamiliar pressure. Their huge ships were built for calmer seas and close-quarters combat, not the choppy channel and these hit-and-run tactics. The turning point came at Calais. The Armada was anchored, waiting for word from their army, which was pinned down by Dutch allies of the English. It was here that Drake and Howard unleashed their most terrifying weapon: hell burners, or fire ships. They took 8 old vessels, packed them with anything that would burn, and sent them drifting with the wind and tide right into the heart of the Spanish fleet. In the dead of night, panic erupted. Spanish captains cut their anchor cables to escape the flames, breaking their tight defensive formation and scattering into the North Sea. This was the moment the English had been waiting for. At the Battle of Gravelines, they pounced on the disorganized Spanish ships. For 8 brutal hours, it was chaos. The English ships, now at an advantage, sailed in close, unleashing devastating broadsides at point-blank range. The decks of Spanish galleons ran red as English cannonballs tore through their wooden hulls. Thousands were killed or wounded. The Invincible Armada was battered, broken, and beaten. But the fight wasn't over. A fierce storm, which the English called the Protestant wind, blew the crippled Armada northwards. Their only way home was the long, treacherous route around Scotland and Ireland. Damaged and disoriented, with crews starving and sick, ship after ship was wrecked against the rocky coast. Of the 130 ships that set sail with such pride, over half were lost, and fewer than 10,000 men made it back to Spain. The defeat was a crushing blow to Spanish prestige and power. For England, it was a moment of national triumph. Queen Elizabeth I, in a masterstroke of propaganda, visited her troops at Tilbury. Clad in armour, she delivered one of the most famous speeches in English history, declaring she had the heart and stomach of a king. This victory didn't just save England from invasion, it sparked a golden age of confidence, exploration, and expansion. The little island nation had defied a superpower and was now poised to become one itself, building a global empire that would shape the modern world. It was a victory forged by cunning strategy, innovative tactics, and perhaps a little bit of luck from the weather. The ghost of the Armada reminds us how quickly the tides of power can turn, and it leaves us wondering, what if the winds had blown differently? Thanks for watching.
Like the video and subscribe to the channel.